Hi soulmates, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. So in today's tutorial, we're going to be drafting the front pattern for a shirt, okay? Preferably a male shirt, but you can use it for female as well. So if this is what you're interested in, then let's get started. Alright, so to start, I have my pattern paper here, as you can see, and I folded it into two equal parts. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. You don't necessarily have to use your pattern paper. You can just use your main fabric for this. Okay, I'm just using my pattern paper for illustration purposes so that you'll be able to see clearly. So what we're going to do first is to mark the button allowance. Okay, so you're going to mark 2 inches or 2.5 inches, and then you're going to connect it all the way to the hemline as you see me, or the full length of your shirt as you see me connecting. After you've connected, the next thing you're going to do is to fold this 2 inches inwards. Okay, you're going to fold it in as you see me doing. Just fold it in properly, and then you're going to measure it to make sure that it is 2 inches. Okay, and then that's it. Just go ahead and do that. Next you're going to do is to come in by 2.5 inches or 3 inches on this line. Okay, you can even decide to take your round neck measurement and use the measurement here. So what I'm working with is 2.5 inches, but you can do 3 inches if it depends on what you want to use. So just make sure that it's not too wide, and then you're going to come down by 2.5 inches for the neck depth, and then you're going to connect as you see me doing. Just connect the points like this. Afterwards, you're going to place your tape like this in a slanted form from this point, and then you're going to measure 1 inch. You're going to come up by 1 inch, okay, and mark. Afterwards, you're going to place your curved rule like this, okay? From the point that you marked, you're going to come in by half of an inch on the shoulder line there. Can you see how I've placed it? You're going to come up to that 1 inch point that we came up by. You're going to come up and make sure that it rests on that line. So I'm just going to use my ruler to connect this line, make sure that it's clear for you to see the 1 inch that we came up by. Can you see how it looks? And then from this point, you're going to connect back to the other side of the center front, that's the neckline, the center front of the shirt. Can you see how I've done it, please? I hope that you understand. So that's how you're going to connect. You're going to make sure that the line falls on that 1 inch that we came up by. Can you see that? So that's it. Next, you're going to measure to get your shoulder divided by 2. Here, I'm working with 8 inches, and that is what you are going to mark. And you're going to come down by 1.5 inches for the shoulder slope. And after you've done that, the next thing you're going to do is to connect with your straight rule across this point. As you see me connecting, just go ahead and then do that. Can you see that? So afterwards, the next thing that we're going to do is to come down by 7 inches or 8 inches for your armhole curve, or you can decide to just measure around your armhole, your arm, and then fix whatever you get divided by 2 there. The next thing we're going to do is the 8 inches on the shoulder, you bring it down to this line and connect straight lines across. The next thing you're going to do is to divide this line by 2, okay? And then on the midpoint, you're going to come in by half of an inch. That point, you're going to come in by half of an inch and mark. Now, in order to get the chest line, what you're going to do is to divide your actual measurement, okay, which is AM there. Then you're going to add 4 inches for your wearing allowance, okay? You don't want this to be too fitted, okay? So your wearing allowance plus the seam allowance, okay? So that is what I'm just marking out here. Your actual measurements, your wearing allowance, and then your seam allowance. So let's say that your your actual measurement is 37 inches. You're going to add 4 inches for your wearing allowance and then 2 inches for the seam allowance. So that equals, or let's go with 36 inches for the actual measurement. Okay, let's just say that your chest divided, your chest circumference is 36 inches, and then you add 4 inches for your bearing allowance and then 2 inches for seam allowance. That will give you a total of 42 divided by 4. You would have 10.5 inches. That is what I'm just working out. So on your chest line, you're going to mark that 10.5 inches on your chest line. Okay, so that is what you're going to do. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to mark it here like this. So after that, I'm going to connect to get my armhole. Okay, so that's it. Now, if you don't, now another method you can do this is to come down by half inch from the chest line, okay? From the chest line, you're going to come down. From that line, you're going to come down by half of an inch. Can you see where I've placed it? So you come down by half of an inch from the chest line and connect, okay? And connect your armhole cup from that line. So this is me just placing a pointer there. So you can either place it on the chest line or come down by half of an inch on underneath the chest line and then connect your armhole cuff. Next, we're going to get our shoulder to waist. Okay, so here we're using 16 inches plus 1, that's 17 inches. And then for the full length of the shirt, you're going to mark, we're working with 26 inches. Okay, let's just work with 26 inches. And then we added 2 extra inches, okay, for folding allowance, for hemming allowance. But it's not going to be that big, but we're just adding it. It's better to have extra than to be short. Okay, so just always make sure that you have extra instead of having a shortage so you can easily adjust. Now, in order to get the waist measurement, what we're going to do is on this line, you're going to minus half inch, okay, from what you got. So you're going to just minus it, okay, and add it there. So on the chest line, we have 10.5 inches. And on the waistline, we're going to take 10 inches. We're going to take off that half inch on this waistline, okay? So, and then on the full length of the dress, on the hip or the full length, you're going to mark the same 10.5 inches that we had on the chest line. So it is plus, minus, and plus, okay? So what you're going to do next is to connect like this, okay? Just going to use your free hand, or you can use your curve rule a bit to just curve it a little bit, okay? So that you don't have like a straight line. It should be a little bit curved. Can you see what I've done here? So this is it. It's very simple. So the next thing we're going to do is to go ahead and cut the pattern out, okay? So on this neckline, you want to be very careful. Just go ahead and cut it off, and this is what we have, guys. It's very simple, okay? So just go ahead and then cut the excess out, okay? So this is, and then I'm going to open up the button allowance. I'm going to open this up, okay? Just open this up, and then this is it, guys. You can see it's very simple. Can you see how it looks? I've just folded the button allowance inwards. Can you see how it is? Can you see the neckline? Can you see how rounded and curvy it is? So this is what we should have. So I'm just going to open this up. Can you see that? So by the time you fold it in, you would have a perfect neck line. So this is it, guys. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to cut the back pattern. Okay, so this is the front. You can see you add your button allowance and everything. So guys, this is it, and thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope to see you in our next tutorial. Okay, and that tutorial, we're going to be drafting the back pattern, so you don't want to go nowhere. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.